In this video, Kevin and I are going to be going over the TV shows and movies that we watch for the month of February. Kevin actually watched some movies by himself, so.
I've been crocheting, so I've been just in front of the computer doing that. And so I watched the classic Supermans, like the old Christopher Reeve Superman. I've only watched the first 4. I didn't watch the 5th one yet. I will, but I haven't watched it yet. I'd forgotten. I always thought the 3rd one with Richard Pryor was my least favorite. I forgot about the Starman, the Sun Man, in number 4. That's the worst one. It's okay. I mean, the story's kind of stupid and silly, but the first 2 are really, really good. I really like the first 2.
Just from looking, glancing at his computer every now and again, I wouldn't, and I love Christopher Reeve, but I would not want to sit through those.
They're okay.
Yeah,
the stories are okay. They're a lot slower than what movies are now. You know, you see superhero movies now like the Avengers and stuff, and it's like stuff's happening constantly. There's a lot of like downtime and story time and talking about characters and stuff, which is good. It's just there is a lot more downtime. The special effects from the I think the first one was in 78 and the newest one's like in 87. The difference just between those 2 movies with special effect was huge, but even the special effects until now is like so different from the 80s. It's just amazing because computers, you know, nowadays do everything for them. So it's amazing, the special effects. Yeah,
I feel
they're
that
still
way.
worth watching. If you've never watched any of the old ones, they're good.
I feel that way about some old school Disney movies.
Yeah.
It's like I've turned them on for the kids thinking, oh, they'll love this. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's taken forever to get into the story.
Yeah.
And
that's
you
like
just don't realize
The Wizard of Oz, we used to skip over the black and white part for Andrew because he would be so bored with it when he was little.
Well, for years, he didn't know there
was a black and white part.
Well, and Ashley didn't either because we would always skip over that part and just jump straight to color. So yeah, for a long time they didn't even know that. So that's what Kevin's been watching by himself.
I will finish the 5th one up, and I plan on watching. We also have the new ones I can watch. I want to watch the new ones too.
Oh, compared to
they're going to be complete. They're so different. I think I watched all the new ones too, but it's been a while.
Okay, so Kevin told you what he watched by himself.
That's the only thing I watched.
By myself, I mentioned this last month. I started watching The Pit, and it's on Max. But I'm watching that, and it has Noah Wiley, and it's like an ER. It's, if you like the show ER, that's what it's like, except it's on Max, so they can show more like blood and stuff like that, and they might be able to cuss more. I haven't noticed an excessive amount of anything like that, but they seem to want to cover all subjects. You know, they want you to know that, you know, you're living in 2025, and so they're going to cover all the major subjects, and so you're going to get all kinds of people coming into the ER that you never got on the actual show ER.
In reality. Like you would really get in real life.
Yes.
I saw an article that was saying that was doctors have said that that's probably one of the most realistic ER shows that's ever been out.
I like it. I really do like it, and I look forward to it coming on every week. I hate that I have to wait for it like that because I would rather binge something. That's just like The White Lotus. I'm dying to watch the 3rd season of The White Lotus. It's been coming on for like 3 or 4 weeks now, or maybe just 3 weeks.
2 or 3.
But I haven't started it yet because I want to binge it. I want to be able to watch
them all.
I want to be able to watch it. Maybe if I want to watch 2 episodes in one night, I want to be able to do that. And so I don't want to have to wait from week to week. So The Pit, I'm doing that. But I'm not willing to do that with some shows because I know I'm going to want more. So I'm just waiting until. So you will not hear me mention The White Lotus, and that's just because we're waiting on it.
Right.
I don't know, you know, you get things recommended to you on YouTube. So this comedian popped up, and some of you are going to know him and say, oh, I've known him for years. Well, I was just introduced to him. You have to look this up on YouTube, and he's clean. It's called, his name is James Gregory, and it's James Gregory food isn't fatal. So when you're looking for that in a search on YouTube, make sure you click on the one that's 40 minutes. It's about 40 minutes long. You're gonna get the whole set. It is hilarious.
Is it the old guy?
Yes. Yeah. And I think, and this is probably not nice for me to say, but I think part of the comedy is looking at him. Looking at him,
the faces he makes.
because he is a different looking person, and he has these teeth. And I'd say he's known for his teeth, but he has these huge teeth, and he makes these faces. And when he does these faces, I'm telling you, it's part of the routine. But that James Gregory Food Isn't Fatal, you will thank me later, because I just found him. And unfortunately, he passed away very recently, I think. But there's other little, once you've watched one comedy skit, you get a bunch of other ones recommended to you. So I've watched a bunch of other ones. He's just funny. He's just a funny, funny person. And then I watched Ali Wong, Single Lady. Now, let me tell you something. Ali Wong, Single Lady. To look at her, you think, this is just a precious little angel. She is probably one of the most vulgar, listen, one of the most vulgar comedians I've ever heard, but she's funny. She's really funny. If you get offended by dirty talk, by dirty words, by frank talk about sex and the like of that, don't watch her. Just don't watch, because she won't be for you. If you can handle it and you haven't watched it, then it's funny. I enjoyed it. Then I watched a movie called You're Cordially Invited. This is really not my kind of movie because it's a chick flick, and it has Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. Sometimes I just get in the mood where I want something lighter while I'm,
That's why the Superman movies for me were good. I'd already seen them, so if I'm not looking at every single second of it, it's okay.
Yeah, I just wanted something lighter, and so this is your typical chick flick. You know what's gonna happen. You know exactly how this story is gonna start. You know the middle part and you know the end. And I was exactly right, because they're all the same.
Same formula.
So it's that cutesy, there's lots to look at. Everybody's pretty, everybody's dressed nice.
Will Ferrell's pretty.
You know, no.
Exactly.
Will Ferrell's
not what I would consider pretty.
No, he's not my idea of good looking. But there's a lot of everybody's dressed nice, and it's one of those movies. It's a light movie. If you like chick flicks, you'll like it. It's a one-time thing for me. Anytime I watch one, it reminds me why I don't watch one, because it's like, you know how this is going to end. Flight Risk. It's funny because we just talked to Ashley, and Ashley also watched Flight Risk. It has Mark Wahlberg and Michelle Dockery. I think I'm saying her name right. She played Lady Mary in Downton Abbey. And she is a U.S. Marshal in this movie. And she is accompanying a fugitive to trial. So there's
Lady Mary. Which one's that one? Is that the oldest daughter, the one with the really short dark hair?
She has dark hair.
And she keeps it really short in the
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think she was the oldest, though. I thought that other one was the oldest.
Maybe the blonde's the oldest, but she's the one that took over, right?
Lady Mary, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't know. I didn't watch that.
She was married to the guy that in the car. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the right person.
Yeah.
I would have not known that was her.
Oh.
Yeah, because I glanced over there at it a couple of times while you were watching it. I did not realize that was her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who that was.
Interesting.
Well, Mark Wahlberg doesn't look much like...
No, you can tell it's him, but it looks like he's he's aged.
Yeah, he didn't look good in this movie. It's a really good movie. It is I like action movies. It's an action movie. And it takes place, it's called Flight Risk because Not everybody on this plane is all that you think they are, is who you think they are. And it keeps you, honestly, I talked about the chick flick being, you know how it's going to start and end. Honestly, this one you did too.
You knew
Flight Risk, you knew exactly. I could have written it down on a piece of paper, predicted, this is exactly how this movie's going to end. And it did. It ended exactly like I thought it would. But it was good to me because it was action. So watching that made me want to watch Con Air. I had not seen Con Air, and I said that to Ashley, and Ashley's like, I love Con Air. Con Air has Nicolas Cage.
I bet it's been 20 years since I've seen Con Air. Whenever it came out, that's back basically when I watched it.
It has Nicolas Cage, it has John Cusack, it has John Malkovich, it has all kinds of, there's all kinds of popular people in this movie, and it's awesome. Con Air is Nicolas Cage. He accidentally, and this is at the very beginning of the movie, he accidentally kills somebody and goes to prison. So he's getting out of prison, and he's literally just being transported back home, basically. But he's riding in this plane with all these convicts who were being transported to another prison. And these are some bad people, let me tell you. They've done some bad stuff, and trouble ensues, and it is so good. It still stands up. It really does. It's as good now as it was then. Okay, so that's all I watched by myself.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Now we're yeah. We finished. We might have mentioned this last month. We started. I'm a Celebrity Australia. That ended. It was really good. We always love that show. And it is celebrities, but they're not celebrities to us because we don't know them.
They're regular people to us.
So, yeah, it's just regular people. But we enjoyed that. We're still working our way through Matlock. We are at the very end of season 2.
Yeah.
So we only have like 3 episodes left of season 2. But a woman has come in.
2 women.
Well, 2 women, but one of them, the one that is also an attorney, she is stunning. I meant to write her name down so I could tell you. I think she's just beautiful. Do you not think? She's very attractive, and she has the 80s fluffy hair and the makeup.
Kind of like the Farrah Fawcett hair, you know.
But she's just beautiful.
She's pretty.
But we're enjoying Matlock.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing every episode, but the stories are a little different here and there. And
well, I'm hoping it'll get. And let me just say this.
It's on for like 7 years.
Let me say this when we're talking about Matlock, because I want to ask this question. I don't know what an attorney's job is, because I've never followed attorneys.
Doing what Matlock does.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. It's like every episode, it's like he and his partner are literally going into the crime scene.
Investigating.
And they're investigating it.
Finding evidence.
Do
and all
attorneys
that stuff.
even do that? But is it even normal? This is what I want to know. I know that they are investigating a lot more than they should. But is it normal for an attorney to even visit the crime scene? Is that even normal? Because
I would say,
they visit every crime scene.
They are looking up facts that the other one's not applying or whatever.
I just didn't know attorneys did that. I thought attorneys were either in the courthouse or their office. Yeah. I didn't know they were visiting where somebody got killed.
They probably aren't in reality.
Yeah, and every episode it's like, well, why would you have
they're almost like private investigators and attorneys.
Yeah, it's very bizarre, I think. But anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm going with it.
Yeah. You have to suspend disbelief and just go with it.
24. Yeah. We just started the second season of 24. Now, Kevin said the other night, and I agree with him, there is no way. It's supposed to be 24 hours.
In real time.
You're supposed to be seeing there is no way in this earth that he could have done everything that he did in that 24 hours. There's just no way.
I'd be tired at the end of the day.
Well, you couldn't have traveled where he traveled from, and even his family and all that drama. There's just no way. Yeah. But I like the show.
It is
There's no way.
There's some believability in some of the things that happen. But in other hands, it's like I can't imagine compressing that much stuff into one 24 hours.
Just the travel time.
Yeah.
Getting from spot to spot.
They don't talk about going from center of LA or wherever they were out to the country, which will probably take you 4 hours.
Oh, yeah. And I thought, when is he going to go to the bathroom?
He did eat one time.
When is he going to eat? Yeah, but he only ate like one time.
Yeah, we saw him eat once. And the family ate once, I think.
And there's one guy on there, he's playing the president. I can only think of Allstate. That every time I see him and hear his voice, I only know him from Allstate insurance commercials, and so I every time I hear his voice, Allstate. That's what I'm over there thinking. Okay, so anyway,
it's a good show.
It is a good show, and I love Kiefer Sutherland. So, The Apprentice UK. We're watching that, and it is just like all the other, if you've ever seen The Apprentice,
same thing.
It's the same thing.
Different people.
Lord Sugar, Karen, what's her name, Brady, her last name. It's a good show. It's always fun to watch. It's always interesting. There's always people who you think really deserve to be there, and then there's people, it's like, how did they even get here?
Yeah, thank goodness they're gone.
Yeah, thank goodness they're gone. So we're enjoying that. We watched a movie called Companion. Companion stars Sophie Thatcher. Now, I think it was just last month I told you that I watched the movie Heretic twice because I liked it so much. I watched it once by myself, and then I had Kevin watch it. She is one of the little Mormon girls in Heretic, and she's so pretty, and she's such a good actress. She really is. And she is in this movie Companion.
She does a better job in this movie than she did in Heretic.
Oh, I thought she did a good job in that too.
She did, but
there just wasn't as much for her.
Yeah, it wasn't as much to do. This one, there's actually stuff going on.
Like, she's the star of the show in this. It says a weekend getaway with friends at a remote cabin turns into chaos after it's revealed that one of the guests is not what they seem.
And we didn't read anything about it before going in. I don't recommend you read anything about it.
Nope, don't.
Just go in blind.
Just watch it. Don't know anything about it. Don't read anything about it. Not for kids.
Definitely not for kids.
No, there's some violence. It's not for kids. But it's a really good movie.
It is a good movie.
Okay. We watched The Last Showgirl, Pamela Anderson. A seasoned showgirl must plan for her future when her show abruptly closes after a 30-year run. So,
it's not a movie I would ever want to watch again.
Really?
Oh, it was awful.
You thought it was awful?
It was just not something it's one of these true life kind of movies, and I don't know, it's just boring to me. It just wasn't anything.
It's a slow movie.
It's very slow.
And what it is Pamela Anderson is at one of these big shows in Las Vegas. That's where she's at, is Las Vegas. And basically, she has given up her whole life. And she is absorbed.
Her life is the show.
It is the show. That is, she eats it, she drinks it, she breathes it. It is the show.
Well, she's been doing it for over 30 years, literally the same show.
So even having a child, it didn't matter. She basically put that aside, put her child aside, just to focus on the show. So imagine how disturbing that would be to somebody to put 30 years into something, and then all of a sudden they're like, the show's closing. And so that is what this is about. And it is slow. It is slow.
I mean, the story was okay. Don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it, but it's not something I'd ever want to watch again. But there's other movies like that too, that are similar. You know, they're just talking about someone's life and how stuff's changing.
It is a slow going movie, but I thought it was interesting. So
It's interesting how she deals with things.
Yes.
Would you watch it again though?
Because she's not rational. To me,
things is just...
To me, she's not rational at all. For her to put this show above her family, above everything, and you can't even talk to her rationally about it. She is not a rational person, I do not think. When it comes to talking about this show, people just can't talk sense to her. And I tell you who else is in it is that little girl that was in, I don't know her name. She was in Mad Men. She was the little girl in Mad Men. And she is one of the women in the show. She's really good in that too. I wish I knew.
Jamie Lee Curtis is in there too.
Oh my gosh.
You have to watch it just to see her.
Listen, Jamie Lee Curtis is as orange as a Oompa Loompa in this. She looks a lot like she did in The Bear. If you watched her in The Bear,
yeah.
She looks like that, except her hair is bad and she's orange. But she looks like the same because she's got some age on her. I mean, we all.
Well, and they made her appear really aged too.
Yeah, weathered, yeah. But she is, I love watching Jamie Lee Curtis. I think she's a wonderful actress.
Mm-hmm. She does
Frankly, I'm glad that she has aged naturally. And I don't think she's done stuff to her face.
Doesn't seem like
I know, and I think she looks great, and she's a great actress, and that's what should stand up is your acting ability. And I would watch her in anything. I remember her when I was little, seeing her in The Fog, and I just have always liked her a lot, and I have a lot of respect for her that she has let herself age naturally. Okay, so then we watched a movie called Megan.
With a 3.
Yeah, it's M3GAN. When robotics engineer Gemma becomes the guardian of her orphaned niece, Katie, she thinks her new invention, a robotic AI, will be a good companion. However, Megan begins to behave in unexpected and shocking ways. So basically, Megan...
You can see where this movie's going just from the description.
Yeah, so basically, Megan is a robot. And, this robot, kind of goes crazy. This movie's rated PG-13. Listen, I don't know what...
It would have been rated like R back in our day.
Yeah, yes. I was watching
for violence
because Kevin suggested we watch this, and I thought, oh, I'm really safe to watch this. It's rated PG-13. There's not going to be anything in it that it's going to be really clean. No, it is violent.
It's also the unrated version, so.
And you need to know that it's violent.
Or the unedited version. I can't remember.
It was violent, and I was shocked that it was rated PG-13.
So the theatrical version that is PG-13 may have been different than this one.
Yeah, it may have been different than what we watched because we watched a violent one. Okay, and then we watched
It's a good movie though. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching.
Yeah.
If you like a scary movie,
it was good. And you said there's another one coming out.
Yep.
And I will watch that one. Even though this one was violent, I will watch the next one because this was so good. Creepy, good. It was really good. Juror number 2. Juror number 2, I think it was on Mike's, but it says...
I like The Last Showgirl better than Jury number 2.
While serving as a juror in a high-profile murder trial, a family man finds himself struggling with a serious moral dilemma, one he could use to sway the jury verdict and potentially convict or free the wrong killer. So the good thing about this movie...
I mean, that is an accurate description.
The good thing about this movie is it brings up good talking points. It will give you, if you were to go see this on a date, if you were to see this with your date or whatever, I think it brings up some good subjects for you to talk about.
Yeah, whether you want to keep dating this person or not. Depending on their answers. Well, what would you do?
Yeah, what would you do in this situation? Okay, I'm not going to give any spoilers at all.
Anything.
But I'm going to tell you, I hated the ending.
Yeah, the ending kind of sucked.
Absolutely Hated the ending, and I cannot tell you.
That ending was no better than The Last Showgirl.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. If
ambiguous.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The Last Showgirl and Juror Number 2 had the same ending. That's it. I absolutely hated the ending. But that's all I'll say. But it was a slow movie.
It wasn't for me.
It was very slow.
It would be what I would call a talkie movie.
Yes, it was really, it was not an action movie. I love action movies. And it was not an action movie.
Even when once one thing was revealed, that was the only interesting thing in the entire movie. Right. And once you knew it, it was like, okay, I'm done.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't for me. Now I'm sure some people love it, but it wasn't for me.
We're still watching Father Brown, but we haven't watched it in a little while because we've been watching other things. We've started another show, but I'm not going to even mention it right now because we just started it. Some of you all have given me recommendations, and one of them, I'm saving it up. So this is one of you recommended a show that's literally coming on every week. I'm saving it because just like The Pit, it drives me crazy. I'm doing it, but I don't like, in the age where you can binge everything, I want to binge stuff. And so these shows that come on once a week, I would rather wait until I can binge the whole thing. Just like we're still working our way through Taskmaster. We have I think two episodes left to be caught up. But we waited. We literally waited until the whole series was over before starting to watch it. That way we can watch it every single night and we don't have to wait around. Call the Midwife is the same way. Call the Midwife has been coming on this whole time.
Yeah, I think it has another episode or two.
The Mayfair Witches. The Mayfair Witches has been coming on this whole time. I haven't watched one episode of it because I want to be able to binge it, especially the Mayfair Witches, because we really enjoy that. And she's beautiful to look at too. The girl she was the one in the first White Lotus. Yes, the one with the piercing blue eyes and dark hair. That's who plays the main Mayfair Rowan.
I think it's her name.
But yeah,
I'm surprised you pulled that.
Well, I read all the books.
Oh, that's true. I still wouldn't remember.
Yeah, all the books, the Anne Rice books. So we do listen to your recommendations, and we are going to watch them, but we might wait till they go off before we even start them.
Or sometimes things just don't sound interesting to us.
Yeah, so always feel free to put them below. But the reason I'm saying that is because I know for a fact somebody recommended a show to me. And I'm saving it. And they're like, oh, this is the best show I've seen in a long time. I'm saving it. I'm going to watch it, but it's going to be...
We're also watching the new Matlock, too. We're still watching that one every week.
Yeah. Now, that comes on once a week.
That's kind of like you doing the Pit. We're just waiting for it to come on.
Yeah, I didn't even write that down.
Yeah,
yes, Kathy Bates. Yeah, Kathy Bates is in the new Matlock.
It's good. I wish they would just made it where that was his daughter and continued on, but they didn't do it that way.
Yes, we wish that Kathy Bates had played...
Matlock's daughter.
Andy Griffith's, Matlock's daughter, because
that would have been cool.
Because this whole storyline, where basically if you're watching it, she is like hiding who she really is this whole time
to investigate what happened to.
We're hoping that will end at the end of this season.
I don't think it will. I don't think it's heading to the conclusion. Because it only has probably another.
Because that's going to get old.
It probably only has a few more episodes left, and it's.
The way that they've written it for us is going to get old because it's already getting stale. They shouldn't have written where she's hiding and trying to find out who did this and this and this. It should have been written as a straight show, just like the original Matlock, and then each week it could have been different. Instead of them trying to build on all this other crap going on, that it was just unnecessary. I wish they hadn't have written it like that. I don't know why they did. But I was hoping all that would be over at the end of season 1.
We can hope.
Yeah. But it's a good show.
It's a good show. I enjoy it. I enjoy the story, but I'm hoping they wrap it up and move on.
Yeah. But that is it. That's all that I can think of, unless you think of something else
I can think of.
that we have been watching for this month. So, again, Feel free, leave your recommendations below. Tell me what you've been watching. I love reading what you all have been watching. Even if we're not watching it, it's like, oh, it's fun to know that all these other shows are out there too, because we can't keep up with everything.
Don't have enough time in the day.
Yeah, we don't have enough time. So hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.